you know how it feels to wake up every morning, to get out of bed, and find yourself looking into the mirror and staring at your bald spot? I would try to comb over with my existing hair, but I know if I go outside, the wind is just going to mess it all up. As far as I know, my hair loss is beyond desperation. It's despair. It's depression. It's despondency. It's devastation. It's never about victory after hair loss. It's only about avoiding defeat. Time is your worst enemy. Hi, Josh here from hairlossdetective.com, and what you have just witnessed was a cry out for desperate help from one hair loss sufferer to thousands of others. If you don't know already, by the age of 35, many men are subjects to male pattern baldness. Knowing you're losing your hair is frustrating and heartbreaking, especially if you're young. You immediately go into denial and wish your hair was like you had it in the past. Nice, thick, and wavy. I guess we don't really appreciate what we've been blessed with until it gradually disappears, huh? I know looks and time are very important to you, so let me ask you a question. If you found a groundbreaking way to stop your hair loss and regrow your hair to a point where your nasty comb-over and the downright cruel, humiliating jokes are a thing of the past, what would that do for you? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how that can happen for you and more. You see, I'm just a 27-year-old hair loss sufferer as well. On a Norwood scale, I'm a 3. I have a beautiful wife and a baby boy. My dad suffers from hair loss, and I've seemed to follow after him. Like father, like son, right? Well, in the pursuit to defeat in what may seem like a disease, hair loss, with almost a pot of coffee and late nights up scouring the internet like a detective, my assignment was to investigate and rummage through this $3.5 billion hair loss industry to find any evidence of what we all are looking for, the cure for hair loss. And on top of that, not get sucked into these crazy treatments that claim to regrow your hair, back only to find out that the end resulted in looking ridiculous and regretting what you've done. I mean, one claim said to try standing on your head for a minute or two each day just to increase blood flow to your scalp. Just make sure not to pass out in the process. Or, if you have olive oil with you, you can concoct different types of oils in your kitchen sink and massage it into your head every night before you go to bed. And if that doesn't float your boat for you, you can try to gently knock all over your scalp to try and stimulate and restore your affected areas. Oh, and here's the kicker. Go ahead and grab a section of your hair and give it a non-painful yank. Doing this to stimulate your scalp and strengthen your hair follicles. You see what I mean? Now, in a desperation to try anything to grow back our hair, we may fall privy to doing anything to fix a problem. But for me, I wanted something more tangible, something that made sense. And then I discovered the real problem, the culprit of why we're losing our hair. And it's due to what doctors call DHT, dihydrotestosterone. DHT is an active metabolite of the testosterone hormone that is formed in the adrenal gland, the hair follicles, and prostate. Since hair is made in the hair follicle, which is little pouches just under the skin surface, these are attacked by DHT, and DHT causes hair follicles to shrink and die. DHT doesn't just appear magically in the body. It occurs as a result of a biological process, an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, which converts testosterone into DHT. So basically, testosterone in hair follicles plus 5-alpha reductase enzyme equals bad news. Now back to filtering through the massive $3.5 billion hair loss industry. My research has taken me places that if what I know now goes mainstream, it could very well make the pharmaceutical companies lose loads of money. No joke. In fact, if you look at more than 25% of the mainstream pharmaceutical hair loss treatments, you'll notice that They'll contain the stuff derived straight from plants, and 60% will have additional plant-based ingredients. So the treatments are derived from plants instead of promoting the plant itself? I wonder why. Again, the information I put together may make the pharmaceutical doctors angry, as they offer you treatments that cost around at least $40 and up, with a slight possible libido-lowering side effect. I'll reveal to you at least one natural treatment that is proven to inhibit the effects of DHT, as effective as, and in many men, even better than, the synthetic pharmaceutical drugs. And might I add, that it has been used to treat impotence and increase virility. What many call alternative medicine is actually our original medicine. Really, natural treatments have been the mainstay of medicine since the beginning of time. So here's a question for you. If herbs and botanicals work impressively well, why do drug companies create synthetic versions of them and then inject other chemicals in the process, and converting them into OTC or prescription drugs? Because that's their ticket to multi-millions of dollars in sales. They really don't want you to know that you don't have to be a slave to their overpriced pills just to regrow your hair. Let's face it, many of these hair regrowth pill companies are publicly traded companies on Wall Street, and they have a stringent requirement for their earnings reports. They will simply stop at nothing to get more people taking their pills, simply in the name of hitting their sale targets. And although some of these pills do work to an extent for some hair loss victims, there is one big fat elephant in the room that should scare the daylights out of you before you pop any hair regrowth pill into your mouth. And I'm not talking about forking out thousands of dollars of your hard-earned cash each year to grow a few measly strands of hair, and then being forced to keep taking the pills to keep it. What I am talking about is losing your manhood. You know, not being able to perform your manly function. Catch my drift? I mean, look at one hair loss sufferer who, when he was recommended by his doctor to take this drug, he stated, "I woke up on the morning of the 8th day and couldn't get an erection. No matter how hard I tried or what I thought about, it wouldn't work." I got very worried and threw them in the bin. Sat down online and there found the nightmare in black and white: persistent and permanent sexual side effects due to this drug. And there are many more of those stories like that. But sometime after I concluded all my research, I had what amounted to a truly groundbreaking light bulb moment. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. If I followed the research I did and made it into a complete step-by-step action plan, it would not only give me and any other hair loss sufferer an incredibly good chance to regrow my hair, but it would also let me do that without the crazy side effect risk of all those pharmaceutical treatments. The answer is simple, but yet profound, and it lies in a complete step-by-step system I wanted to devise that would allow me to steadily regrow my hair without risking my normal manly functionality. I mean, I realized, what good is all of these pills for regrowing hair if I can't, well, you know. That's when I packaged all my findings into the product now known as the HLD Secret, a multimedia guide action plan to regrowing your hair. You'll cross over into the members area where you'll get access to detailed videos that lay out an easy-to-follow system to stop your hair loss and regrow your hair, while avoiding those outrageous side effects that seem to make any attempt to regrow your hair way too risky. So you may be thinking if this is going to cost anything, right? And I thought long and hard about this, and if you look at hair transplants, which cost around $10,000 to $15,000 for one surgery, and for the surgery to be effective, you have to be the right candidate, because once you're cut, you're cut. Or you can go ahead and purchase the pharmaceutical pills that cost around $40 a month to $480 a year to attempt to grow back your hair with possible side effects. Or for a one-time payment of $257 for the HLD Secret Multimedia Guide, in which I can easily charge, and you'd still be getting a great deal, but I've decided not to charge $257, not even $157, but I've decided to give you the HLD Secret Multimedia Guide for just $57. Listen, I know this may sound hypey and like I'm going to sell you something, and that's fine, but the fact of the matter is, this thing really works, and I genuinely want you to have it. It's not for everyone, and it might not work for you. That's up to you, but I really think you owe it to yourself to at least try it out. And you know what? That's why we have the guarantee in place. If you find that after taking advantage to regrow your hair with my secret multimedia guide has not been successful, or you are not 100% satisfied, then you can still use the information provided in the multimedia guide and get a refund. No sweat. Remember, the pharmaceutical companies stand to lose out on millions of dollars in revenue if this information becomes too widespread. So, I warn you, this offer may not be available to you if you don't act right now and secure your own access to this step-by-step action plan to stop your hair loss and regrow your hair. Pharmaceutical companies have a ton of pull and influence. They could easily have my website shut down forever, and if that happened, your opportunity to get access to my system would be passed. The door would be locked, and locked for good. They see my system as a major threat to their fat cat profits, and I sometimes wonder if they're gearing up to shut me down. So don't let this opportunity to get access to my hair regrowth solution pass you by. Don't let that happen. Let me help you stop your hair loss and regrow your hair without falling into the pill surgery funnel that the established hair regrowth industry wants you to become a part of. I'll show you a truly unique and amazing effective way to not only regrow your hair, but get your life back, your confidence, and your prowess as a man. Grab your access slot to the HLD Secret Multimedia Guide Action Plan today.